Be excellent to each other. Party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing Blue-White Dragon Control with no reserve list cards. This entire deck can be built for like $600 in paper. Pretty sweet. And it features some awesome new cards, including Roiling Dragonstorm, 1 blue, 1 colorless enchantment. When this enchantment enters, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. And when a dragon you control enters, return this enchantment to its owner's hand. So this is a card draw engine that works with dragons, and we have got some sweet dragons, including Murktide, including Timeless Dragon, which is conveniently discardable to Roiling Dragonstorm. You draw 2 cards, then you discard your Timeless Dragon, and it's all set up to come back and bounce this back to your hand for more card advantage. But the other dragon I'm very excited about is Clarion Conqueror. This is 2 colorless and 1 white for a 3/3 flying dragon, and it has this very profound text. Activated abilities of artifacts and creatures and planeswalkers can't be activated. No more planeswalker activations, no more artifact activations, no more targeting Nadu with Nomad Encore, nothing. It shuts down so much nonsense. Really strong card, and a flying 3/3 beater for 3 mana, not bad. The rest of the deck is just stay alive, control stuff. Got a couple dress downs, we've got 4 spell pierce, we've got 2 back to basics to lock down our opponent's lands so that our spell pierces stay alive late into the game. We've got 4 plows. We have a March of Otherworldly Light. In the sideboard, we have even more interaction. Supreme Verdict. We've got 3 Wrath of the Skies. This card is really good right now. We've got a Celestial Purge if we get paired against black or red decks. We've got 3 Force Negations for stack battles, 3 Hydroblasts, and I am not messing around. I really don't want to fight a long game against Reanimator or go against Oops All spells without a Grafdigger's Cage on the table, so we're playing the full 4. We're going to play a full 5 rounds as always. Leave comments with timestamps if you have feedback on my play. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're against a lands opponent, most likely. I am liking our matchup against lands. However, this hand is pretty meh. It doesn't really do anything. It does have a lot of land. We can archive and hopefully draw their wastelands and just waste time with dress down. I think I'm going to keep it. I would be sad if I mulliganed into like a hand that had fewer lands, because this is a control deck. It's straight up pure control deck, and we're just trying to get our lands underneath us. Once revealing Glimmer Post. Okay, they're on 12 post. Unfortunately, that is a little bit worse for us. Urza's Tower, okay. Soul God Lantern doesn't affect us too much. I mean, we do have this Merc. Unfortunately, this means that this dress down's probably not going to do anything, because they probably don't play any creatures except for like Emrakul and stuff at the very top end. Which, I mean, we could in theory dress down and then how much time do we think we have? If we think they're going to force, we do want to go ahead and dig. I think, or if we think they're going to go for 1 ring rather, I think I'm going to go ahead and ponder here. This is an easy shuffle. These cards are not what we want. Oh no, a land. Well, we are playing 19 lands, so it's aberrational that we draw this many. We know they have a Glimmer Post. They may play it out, but okay, good. Yeah, I was worried that they would have the Planar Nexus. Timeless Dragon is not super helpful. I think we just chill and we can end step Timeless Dragon. If we Timeless Dragon, they're almost certainly just going to crack this whole guide. By waiting, maybe they crack it out of Impatience. And if they crack it out of Impatience to draw a card, they didn't deny us any cards. They're most likely just considering whether it costs them to crack this, because we're showing white, which is not black. Disruptor Fluid, okay, interesting. By all means. I'll be stunned if you can name any of the cards in my hand. Probably just Force. Nadu. Interesting. We're giving off Nadu vibes, apparently. Pajuka Bog does hit our graveyard. That's a bummer. Okay, they could just be like... Pajuka Bog is rarely in these 12-post style decks. Oh my goodness, we're just... I mean, that's barely interaction, but I guess I'll take it. I guess I should go ahead and archive here. Nice dodge. We definitely didn't want to draw that. Okay, so we have dress down if they play a creature for some reason. We have spell pierce if they cast something really big. Looks like they're just drawing a card. That's fine. That means our cards are intact. It's a lot of mana. Ancient Stirrings, that's fine. Look at the top 5. Very cool art with the cat. I've never seen this version of it. This isn't what it's normally like, is it? With the cat? They reveal Karn. Please play Karn. Spirit Guide. Oh, so freaking good. By Karn. You will not be missed. They're down to 2 cards. They don't seem to have like mana acceleration, which is really good for us. So we have some options here. I think we do want to just bring this back. Because if we Merc, it's actually the same size as this. That feels really inconsequential, frankly. If we get a Merc down, then the subsequent Merc will be bigger. We could get Merc down and leave the Thomas Dragon in the yard. Or we could leave the Spell Pierce in the yard. I think I'm going to go ahead and get a Merc down. I think, sadly, if we want to maximize power, we should just leave the Spell Pierce in the yard. That way we can hit that with the other Merc next turn. And get it twice. So that way we'll have 8 power on the table. What? Yeah. So this will grow to 8. If they have another Karn, we're kind of in trouble. What? Just another tower. Okay, great. No spells. We're getting super lucky here. Ponder's great. Let's start by pondering. These are all good cards. We want them. I think Dragonstorm first. If I Dragonstorm, then next turn I get the trigger. I could also just Merc. It might be best to just Merc. Let's see. If we Merc, we're hitting for 5, and then we have 10 on the table for the subsequent turn. I don't know that we have the luxury of Roiling Dragonstorm here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to Merc. And I can actually Brainstorm first, and then just play an island. Let's see if I can find a shuffle effect. I don't. These are pretty bad, but like this Dragonstorm is not going to do anything. I'll put it back, and I'll put this land back. Now we're just going to go ahead and make this big. Oh, we can't. We don't have enough mana. That was a punt. Let's see. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. We're 1 short, aren't we? Well, that's super embarrassing. Yeah. So we're just going to come in for 3. Then we'll pass. And we'll hope they don't do too much. We can play out a Brazen Borrower at least, but it's not a big deal. It's not great. Okay, so Karn Silex. This card is pretty brutal. They don't have enough mana to exile our dude. We can just bounce it and time walk them, essentially. Ibugan, that's not good. All right, so I think I do want to just bounce this instep. Next turn they can and they can go get but they don't actually have that much mana. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this doesn't tap for mana unless they get the thing. Okay. So now I can Roiling Dragonstorm. This is going to put a card in the yard, and then we can Merc. I will draw, this is going in the yard. I'm going to go and play this out. I'll just go get another island here. Okay, and I'm going to hold up Dress Down just in case they have some crazy thing that comes out. It's worth noting that Karn Silex, as good of a card as it is not going to be able to easily kill my Mercs. So we do get this Roiling Dragonstorm back to our hand. We can use it immediately if we want. I think that's probably better than dressing down. Let's see if we can find a force here. Ha! Nice. Discard that. We'll come in for a hug. They're dead on board. We just have to stop one thing, and then they're dead. I don't think they can stop all this. We got super lucky here. I just can't believe how lucky we've gotten. That thing that exiles the Ugin would be annoying as hell if they have that. But I don't think they have the mana. Karn, I'm just going to force. Okay, wow. I did not expect to win that. All right, so this is a bad matchup for sure. I think our best bet is to bring in the negations. We can cut these plows almost completely. I think we cut them completely and we bring in the wraths. March is pretty meh. Let's see. Is there anything that March can kill that Wrath can't? I don't think so. Yeah, Spell Pierce could come up for sure, even against a big mana deck. This Clarion Conqueror is really good. It shuts down Karn, among other things. Our opponent kept 7. I think we probably want a sideboard card. I don't think this is good enough. This is a lot better. I'm glad I mulliganed there. I think we do want a Roiling Dragonstorm turn 2. We probably want to ponder into Dragonstorm. We don't. I guess we could put back Ponder. Or we could put back Dragonstorm. I'm going to put back... Yeah, I'm going to put back Ponder. My thinking is we can Spell Pierce, hopefully stop their first thing. And if we can't, we can at least pitch. And then I want to very quickly establish Dragonstorm and then try to Thomas Dragon to get it back. So we can Surveil here. It's important to get these out of our hand if they play Karn Silex. You can't fetch once Karn Silex is down. All right, they had the combo. Not doing anything with it. Love it. I'm going to go get my Surveil land. I know that we're going to try to go for a back to basics win, but I want to manipulate my draw early on. This is the kind of card we want to keep, I think. Yeah, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to fetch immediately. Just, again, respect for Karn Silex. I'll get up Plains. I'll get an island. I'm about to, well, how many white cards do we even have in our deck? Not that many. I'll just get an island. Dragonstorm. So next turn we can Thomas Dragon cycle, and the following turn we can bring him back to trigger the Dragonstorm. I don't really need these Plains. Yeah, let's put that back. We can always go get another Plains here. All right, so we've got double force up. They've got tons of mana already. They'll have a lot more soon. Once Upon a Time is going to resolve. I almost never force that. Karakas, that affects 0 cards in our deck, thankfully. The by the way, the card that got off the Once Upon a Time was Karakas, which is heartening. I was worried they would get something more powerful than that. I think double pierce is fine because now we can pierce and pitch. I'll just chill with double pierce up and then we can Timeless Dragon if they don't do anything too dramatic. I mean, we could actually just ponder here. Yeah, because if I can find a Merc, I want to set up Merc. Merc is definitely better. Back to basics. So good. Yeah, I'm going to take it. Okay, so next turn we can stick back to basics. After we've Thomas Dragon, we just won't tap this and keep it in reserve. So they do have a lot of mana, but double pierce is not nothing. You show they've got more. Okay, now they can do the 7-drop thing, unfortunately. It's a huge pain. I'm going to counter it. That exiles that. It's fine. This doesn't have any uncounterability or anything ridiculous like that. Yeah, this card is overly powered, in my humble opinion. We're going to draw a... Yeah, I'm not going to shuffle, so we are going to draw a card, and then we can just KO them with Back to Basics. It's not a KO. They could, like, hit it with... Oh, man, I would love it if they had some sort of interaction spell here that they burned a lot of resources on, but I don't think they have any. They did get a 2-for-1 there. All right, so let's go ahead and just go grab another... I guess I'll just get an island here. I'm going to Plains off the Thomas Dragon later. Back to basics. Suck it. You want to keep playing? All right, let's keep playing. They do have, what's it called in their deck? They don't have a land drop. Good for us. The top card, I believe, is like a Ponder. I think it's actually another Spell Pierce, which is basically Force at this point. So I'll take it. Oh, I was wrong. All right. Actually, yeah, we shuffled last turn. That's why. So we could just get the dragon down now. I don't know that that's necessary to be that aggressive. They're not doing anything. I think I'm just going to chill with like tons of interaction up. They're going to need a lot of firepower to get out from under this. Like, Boseiju would help for sure. I'm going to need a white source to put this into place, so I'll go ahead and fetch while I'm at it. Basic land's overpowered. Just slow and steady, taking them out. Got 3 counter spells up currently. No need to tap anything for the rest of the game. They do have a basic land. They need one more to Boseiju this. Borrower can just come in and apply additional pressure end step. So they're actually on a 2-turn clock now. They don't know yet. They have 8 cards in hand. Okay, this is a Dismember. Just pierce it. I would like to keep my dude alive so he can kill you. And I do think it's worth going ahead and playing this out. This way, even if they get out from under it, they're going to have so little time. It would be greedy to play this out. I can cycle and bring it back later if I need to. Crop rotation? No, thank you. I don't know what you're going to get, but I don't care to see. That is a 2-for-1. Elvish Spirit Guide. Veil of Summer. All right, let's go ahead and just do this again. I don't want you drawing cards. Do you have another Veil? That would be sick. I would be very impressed. Good games. All right, round 2. We're up against a sometimes lands player. On the draw, this is an Island Ponder hand. It's got Clarion Conqueror, which is pretty good against lands. It also has Brazen Borrower, which is good against Merit Lage. I think we keep this. It's a pretty broad hand. I don't want to throw it back just because it's a one-lander. If Ponder whiffs, that can be a problem. There's Once Upon a Time. That's fine. They found a Wasteland. Yeah, keeping one-landers when your deck is all basics is very different from keeping one-landers when you have like a single basic in your deck. Like most of my tempo decks have like 1 or 2 basics. So I am going to go ahead and just ponder here. And if I whiff, I at least have Brainstorm next turn. All right. Didn't whiff at all. This is great. I think we want all these. Actually, I don't want the Meticulous Archive. I'm going to put that on the bottom. I'll just take the planes now, and I'll draw the Vista. I'll draw the Vista next turn. Let's pass. So far, everything I've seen leads me to believe they're on some sort of depth strategy or lands. And there is like an overlap between depths and lands. I would say probably like 75% of the cards are in common. And I'm not talking about turbo depths. I'm talking about like traditional depths. Okay. So we don't want that other land. This is an opportunity for us to just planes into... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and planes into Roiling Dragonstorm. And then next turn we can stick the Conqueror and get our Dragonstorm back into hand. Their deck can't generally produce a turn 2 Merit Lage. They need turn 3. I actually think we grab an island here because we may need the double blue if we need to do some multi-spelling later. This is pretty sweet. We don't really need this third island. Everything else in my hand, I want to keep in my hand. I want blue cards for force. I think I'm going to pitch the island. So I'll probably pitch the second Dragonstorm here. That's fine. The only things that I would force... Okay. That's not a big issue right now. We definitely want to find back to basics for too long. They can copy this. I think we just go ahead and Clarion Conqueror now and cash in our Dragonstorm, but we could wait a turn cycle and get double. I'm not sure if that's greedy. I think I'm going to actually do the double. And I actually just screwed up because if they Merit Lage now, I don't have white up. I probably should have kept white up. We can bend another land since we have one for next turn. Yeah, I think I screwed up, but we do have double force up. If they crop rotate, I will force. This is fine. We're going to be dealing with a lot of constructs. We do have 2 dress downs in our deck. If they go get like Shadow Spear, we can snub that with Clarion Conqueror. I think next turn is going to be a good turn. I'll keep a planes up off this Flooded Strand just in case we need to plow something. They don't have a ton of artifacts in their deck. It's not like we're looking to face down like one of these Tomio decks that generates tons of clues and gets like 10-10 constructs. Like their constructs are probably going to be like 6-6 maybe after all is said and done. They do have to spend mana to convert this back into another land later so it doesn't go away. But once they've done that, then they essentially have a construct per turn for the rest of the game. That is a lot of value to keep up with. Opponent also said they'll be ducking in and out. They're probably multi-queuing, which don't multi-queue people. Come on. It's like such a disrespect to your opponent. I feel bad enough that I have like kind of bad latency sometimes because I'm traveling. Okay, so they're just going to chill. That's fine. Okay, another land. I'm not going to complain about lands. I think we just go ahead and plant the land. Then I'm going to go ahead and conquer. We get these Dragonstorms back into our hand. Are we going to have to go to discard? That is weird. And yeah, I mean, we have such an embarrassment of riches. We're going to go to discard here. Gosh. Yeah, I think we're likely to find more land. This might be the discard. Wait, if they make a clue, I'm just going to go ahead and plow it in step. Yeah. It may seem like a weak thing, but we're literally going to discard this if we don't do something here. So this just keeps all the other constructs small. So now they do have to be cognizant of the fact that this is about to go away, and they need to have enough mana to change it. Also, the deck they're playing is very computationally intensive. They shouldn't be multi-queuing while playing lands. Like I would have a hard time finishing a round in time, assuming that's all I was doing if I were playing lands. And I might play lands on the deck. I did play Lone Pox, which is practically lands. It's very close. Right, opponent is going to search here. Pithing Needle. It'll be interesting to see what they name here. They might just name like Floodstrand or something. Yeah, good call. Wow. Sniper. They scoop. Interesting. They just scooped the entire match. Well, that sucks. I really wanted to play a freaking match, but I'll take the win. See you in round 3. I think, for what it's worth, I think we had an excellent matchup there. We have all the Force of Negations in the board. We have the Back to Basics is obviously like a powerhouse against the deck that needs to be tapping tons of land every turn. And then we had exile-based removal for Merit Lage. We had, I don't know. And even the Celestial Purge is like insane against them. Wrath of the Sky is obviously going to be insane against the deck that's putting lots of cheap permanents like Mox Diamonds and stuff into play. Yeah, I don't think we would have any problem here based on my understanding of the matchup from having played it. Also, this is another answer, 1 minute answer to Merit Lage. So this is their absolute worst nightmare. I don't think that match would have been even close, but I do hope to be proven in a future lands matchup with this build. Round 3, we're 2-0. We're up against an unknown opponent. They said, you at dog. You too. All right. This hand is great against unknown opponents. It has exile-based removal. It has force. We're on the draw. Yeah, we're just going to try to ponder our way to a big Murktide and close. Flooded Strand. A man after my own heart. Don't fetch Underground Sea with it, please. And I should say a Squish Man after my own heart. Did he eat the squish fruit? Ponder. So far this is looking like maybe like a Jeskai mirror. We're not actually Jeskai because you don't want to play 3-color decks when you don't have dual lands. You won't see generally 3-color no reserve list decks on this channel. Yeah, I think we just do the classic Island Ponder. We don't have the cool alpha pink island. We could have it, but I like to spice it up. We don't need the second Merc. Dress Down might be relevant. Yeah, Dress Down might be able to snuff like... we're going to get 2 of these cards. I'm going to put back the Merc. And I guess I'll take these. They're better than just random lands off the top. We have... Our hand already covers everything. They could be on... yeah. They could be on a lot of things. I was excited to put Dress Down into the deck just because I keep running into so much Urza Saga. And it has incidental splash damage on other things. So they have pondered twice and they kept the first one. So I guess they got what they wanted and they shuffled. Blue-White X. Shout out to the Blue-White X Discord. Where people continue to brew in this, arguably underpowered space. I think we just chill. Brainstorm. I may play a Hull Breacher list with Hull Breachers, Narsets, and Days Undoing. I don't think Days Undoing is a good card, but somebody shared that in the Blue White X Discord earlier, and I was like, oh, that looks like a pretty fun list, actually. Okay, so we can just march this. I think it's fine to just instep march it. I'm not sure that that's a bad use of our cards. The good news is they're probably an Urza Saga deck, so our Dress Down's probably going to be worth something later. We need to shuffle anyway. The fact that this is an instant is pretty nice. The days here, it's not even that big of a deal. Oh, force. I'm not going to force back. I could just force... Well, okay, so they could have Cavernous Souls. This tells me that maybe they have Cavernous Souls, that they think this is the fight. I guess I could pitch Brazen Borrower. I think that's unlikely to matter in this matchup. The card they pitched, by the way, was a Nadu. They probably have a redundant Nadu. I don't think they pitched that unless they... Or they could have a Wizard and they're just going to try to go for a quick kill, which won't work. So I could just go ahead and put a giant Merc on the table, and I think that's fine. If they had Daze, they would have used it there. I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to be aggressive. We still have the Plow up, so we're not completely without interaction. But in these kinds of matchups, like, one thing I've learned is you want to get the game over with against Breakfast. The longer the game goes on, the more, A-B stuff they draw. They have a lot of A's and a lot of B's. A lot more than, like, show and tell and stuff like that. All right, so if we can make it through this turn, I think we can win. That's fine. All right, they still got 4 cards in their hand, so we're not out of the woods. That's a good rip. They don't really have any value creatures that we can dress down. We could always dress down and Plow a Nadu. They don't have a third land. Illusionist. That's fine. I do think we Plow here just to keep the board clear. We could wait. We have lots of mana. I think it's correct to wait because this might not do anything. Oh, that's pretty good. They have a lot of non-basics in their deck. This is going to really screw them. If they want to get a force fight in it over this, I think I fight. Like, basically their entire deck is 1 island, 1 plains, and a bunch of... Like, they can't cast Nadu. They can't do a lot of things if you have this out. Sure. Keep in mind, this could be finding them the days that they need to survive for a turn cycle, but I think it's worth the risk. Like, I could lose this game, but I will lose daring greatly, if that makes sense. And not by being overly conservative. This is one of the best card advantage cards in the format if you build your deck right. Like, now every land is a Lotus Petal for them. I do want to be proactive here. Another Back to Basics can go back. Brazen Borrower may actually not be that bad right now. I think we could put Force back as a 2-for-1. We could Plow and borrow our way out of stuff. I think that's fine. We're down cards. They're coming in for a hug. Passing. All right, I'm going to go get an island. Shuffle those bad cards back. All right, another Plow. Not going to complain. I could flash in Borrower and just start beating face, and I might actually do that. It would be 6 turns, but like that might be enough considering that they don't have any resources. They don't have any lands, rather. And we're absolutely going to race them if we do that. They give us a ton of life off that Plow. They don't have a Bowmaster or anything like that, so we should be able to reliably just treat this like a True Name Nemesis, more or less. So I'm going to come in for a hug. I'll hold the Brainstorm just in case of emergencies. I don't need to make land drops. I'm not really looking for anything. I just need time to close out the game. All right, this is pretty perfect for us. I can go ahead and do the end step Brainstorm here. I'll wait one more turn. Every turn you wait. Oh yeah, and if I had done that, by the way, it'd been this sick looking Dread Return. That's some serious art right there. I don't need this land. I'm going to go ahead and Brainstorm and see if I can find a fetch. Didn't find a fetch, but I did find Roiling Dragonstorm. Spell Pierce is practically force here. I think we just put this back and this back, and now we Roiling Dragonstorm. I do want to play that Plains out just so I have double Plow in case of like an emergency. We could discard the Ponder. It grows the eventual Merc. We've got so much mana. All right, and now we can be kind of cognizant of our clock and not try to over-optimize. I think we're so far ahead that I'll be stunned if we lose. Aether Vial is something that could break it open. I am going to pierce it. This could start... All it has to do is drop a Nomad. Yeah, they scooped. Okay. All they would have to do is drop a Nomad, and then that's like 1 turn from now, and then they'd have the combo. And when they activate, I'd have to Plow because you don't get a window when Nomad comes in. They can just go off. And then I would have to probably Plow the Nomad as well. So, yeah. A friend of mine who, shout out to Zach, who plays a lot of Breakfast up at Boardwalk Games where I play paper when I'm in the States. Boardwalk Games in Dallas. He told me that like the way to beat Breakfast really is to just go after the mana. I think Wrath is pretty good. It's removal here. And it also removes the Shukos and the Constructs and the if they have a Saga out. It's a pretty good card. Grafdigger's Cage is a trap. Don't bring it in against Breakfast. They'll just use Nadu to win, or they'll find out one of their many prismatic endings. They usually play 2. Cards we don't need. Clarion Conqueror actually is really good against their deck. So that's a good one. Yeah, it's not really clear what we cut. Like, these are all great cards. I usually cut a couple of Mercs. And I was talking about how we need to go fast, but actually, like, this deck has all the tools to go toe-to-toe with them. Borrower's relevant in a lot of ways. Like, it closed that game. I don't really want to take out Pierce. I guess I could take out Pierce. Just take out one of them. This is too risky. I'm going to mulligan this. This is fine. We just need to stay alive for a few turns. This hand can absolutely stay alive for a few turns. I'm going to keep... I'll put back this Plains. Because we're not worried about our life total. We might as well fill up our yard for Merc. So this is a force blue card hand that ramps up to Wrath of the Skies. Love it. And keep in mind, they do play Days, so that is something to be cognizant of. They kept their top cards, so they probably have their combo. They kept that hand for a reason. And they kept the Ponder for a reason. With the density of AB combo cards, you just have to assume that they're going to have them. So I'm looking for land, so I'm not going to fetch. When I want land, I don't fetch because I want to maximize the likelihood of finding the land. Now we have a second blue card, second force. Yeah, Brainstorm's fine. They're getting a perfect Brainstorm. So they're getting even more selection than they had already. Shuffling. Okay, at least they're shuffling away some stuff. That means they don't have just like the redundant nuts. Misty, Ponder, sure. So next turn I may Brainstorm just to try to find land number 3. It's very important that we keep the land ups going with this control deck. This is one thing I've learned about playing like kind of blue-white control decks is land drops are everything. And there's no amount of land that's too much. You can't have too much mana unless you're like opening a hand and it's like 5 lander. Like that's probably a mulligan, but like as the game goes on, you'll figure out ways to use your mana. This deck has plenty of mana dumps, such as the dragon, Eternal Dragon. I keep calling it Eternal Dragon. There's another card printed called Eternal Dragon, and this one's Timeless Dragon. What's even more eternal than eternal? Timeless. Voice of Victory. I'll let that resolve because they're tapped out, and then I'll just plow it. That's a good card. Okay, we found our land. I'm going to go ahead and just plow and pass. This Voice of Victory's got me spooked. It's a good card. Not as good as Teferi. I think we keep our mana up just in case we need to emergency Brainstorm, but most likely they could also double Days. So yeah, I think it's correct to just... like, I don't want to have to fight them here, but I will. I really, really want to resolve this back to basics. So this is crazy. No, this has to be a fight. They are almost certainly going to force back here. I do not want to pitch that back to basics. So now we have to ask, is back to basics good enough to win? Because we could just play back to basics, lock them down. No, I need to force him. I'm not going to risk it. They're down to 2 cards. All right. Yeah, that was a tough call. They're going to surveil again. Oh, they have the Nomad. Just show me. Just show me that you have the freaking Nomad. I would have died there. No, I would have been able to force the Nomad. It wouldn't have been death. Considering that this is death, like basically anything off the top, and we're totally naked, I am going to go ahead and just force here. Or Wrath here. I was using an expensive removal spell. It sucks. It really sucks. And now we're playing Drago with our opponent who already has 1 card. But in my opinion, you just don't take chances. This is how you lose. Taking chances. Because like any Nadu, they have 7 Nadus left in their deck. They have, well, wait, what do they pitch to force? Yeah, they have 7 Nadus, and they have, so it was absolutely correct, by the way, to plow the Voice of Victory and not like wait. There's a voice. Okay, that sucks. We need another removal spell. Well, we are a few turns from dying from combat. Oh, Clarion Conqueror. Sign me up. This stops their deck. Like, they can't combo now. They have days. They would have dazed last turn. Because, yeah, the voice was almost certainly the draw for turn. Okay, I can't do anything about that. So we're going to take 3 here. They don't have either side of their AB combo. We're drawing to our other... we're drawing to lots of stuff, but I think we are behind here. I wouldn't have had the mana to get rid of Nadu, and we would be dying to Nadu beats as well. Like, they would have hit us for like 9 by now. I will take a land, sure. They're going to have the combo. They've got the whole combo. Good game. I don't need to see their sideboard strategy, whatever. All right. I've played against this deck and with this deck enough. Okay. I think the setup we have is fine. Yeah. I'm going to go back in. Yeah, having that double force and having to double force, I didn't have to, but like I would have had to. You have to stop the actual Nomad, and then they would be left with the Nadu, and you're taking a ton of damage, and eventually they're going to draw another wing, like B. Like you have to kind of deny them both, A's and B's. And when I say A, I mean like a Nadu or a Self-Lit Illusionist, and B, I mean a Shuko or a Nomad to target it with. This hand is not setting the world on fire. I like the Spell Pierce. Maybe if they keep a greedy hand, we can pierce a cantrip. We do have a Brainstorm here to fix our hand later. I'm not going to throw it back, though. This notably is all islands. We don't have access to... well, we can get the Meticulous Archive, which I don't like to get because we're definitely going to try to back to basics them at first opportunity. I'll just play like that and pass. Spell Pierce does lose value as the game goes on, and it does not hit their creatures. Come on, Island Ponder me. That is most definitely a Spell Pierce. They have days? They don't. Okay, well, Spell Pierce did a good job there. That would have been pretty scary. All right, I think we just put back some lands here. I mean, I could do it in step, actually. I'll do it in step. I've already moved my land drop. There's no merit to doing it during main phasing it. Other than, dodging their Spell Pierce. They could have kept a hand on the strength of this. I'm going to see if I can find a Spell Pierce. We don't find a Spell Pierce. I don't think this is a force. I think that'd be extremely greedy. Put back these blue sources. That's fine. End step, I'll just surveil. And then we're pretty close to murking. Actually, we could murk, but I don't want to go shields down on a murk. They found a land. I don't need another plow. That's perfect food for murk. And now I can murk and leave plow up. And then the question becomes, do we force to protect murk so we can kill them quickly? Because murk will be pretty big. Dragonstorm. I think we Dragonstorm first. Why not invest? And if I can bend yet another instant or... Whoa, scoop. That's good. We still don't have white, though, which is frustrating. But I will stick it. If they don't grab a plains here, they might grab a plains. I think we discard the Borrower. It is like a removal spell, but we've already got a removal spell. I guess I could pitch the Scalding Tarn. I think it's too important to make momentum to get forward momentum with lands, though. Yeah. Okay. We'll pass with Force and Plow Up as our protection spells. I would probably pitch the back to basics before I would pitch the Force or pitch the Merc. Okay, this is great for us. Hopefully they just go fetch a non. Oh, that's a great thing for them to do. Fetch a Tundra. Come on, you know you want to. They got that makes this a lot less exciting. I'm gonna let this resolve. I'll just plow it next turn. Yeah, and back to basics is gonna get pitched. At this point, I don't think it's worth locking them off one land. Back up plow. Not complaining. I'm gonna play this out. I'm gonna go ahead and just plow now. All right, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and murk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're not actually keeping plow up here. We are going to be relying on force to save us, but we do have daze protection. This comes back to hand. All right, and we just have to hope they don't have the AB with protection here. They certainly could. I think it's probably worth locking down 2 lands now, so I could pitch this. That's fine. Okay, and I have to force here. They have 2 cards left. I actually think we pitched the back to basics so we have Roiling Dragonstorm to find some more action. Please don't have Spell Pierce. Oh, thank goodness. My goodness. That was freaking touch and go. Don't have another one. Okay, good. Oh, man. My little freaking heart is beating like crazy thinking about how close we are to victory here against this with our underpowered budget deck. Keep in mind, like, we're struggling, but we're struggling. We're fighting an uphill battle. Look, the mana they have on the table. Their deck costs, you know, probably like $4,000 or $5,000. Ours costs $500. Let's go ahead and just draw here. Not gonna fetch the thin. Force. I think I want to go ahead and rolling. Do I want to fetch first? No, it doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and rolling. And this has to find a blue card, or I'll look like a fool, but that's half my deck. Oh, Clarion Conqueror is fine. So I think we tap out for Clarion Conqueror. Then they have to plow and have the answer. We also get Roiling Dragonstorm back to our hand for force. So I am going to have to pitch this plow if I want to live that dream. But it's a dream worth living. If they just have a daze, like, we probably just lose, sadly. But if this resolves, they have to remove it before they can start comboing. They've only got 2 cards in hand. Yeah, we can't turn back now. If you have daze. Holy cow, fam. We are doing great. Now we can swing in. Their combo is off. While this is out, we have Force to Protect. We don't even have to force a Nadu anymore. We don't have to force this. I think we just keep beating them in the face with Merc and ignore this. I need to protect this. As long as I protect this, we're going to win. They're not going to beat us through combo or combat. Let's go ahead and Dragonstorm again. Why not? Dress down. Love it. I'll put the Merc in the yard. I mean, I could go ahead and go in on another Dragonstorm. I don't think it hurts. If we find a backup Merc, like, this Merc just gets so huge that, like, it threatens immediate decimation. Wrath! Oh, we Wrath for 2. That seems good. I'm going to bin the Wrath, though, because we don't have 2 white. All right, and now I'm just going to come in for a hug. And you can start throwing things in front of him if you want. I don't want to sound overconfident here, but I think we're in a very good place. They need removal plus force. Daze won't do it. It's fine. They can't even activate themselves. Like, they have this kind of like pseudo Maze of Ith effect. They can't even do that. This feels great. This Clarion Conqueror is conquering all. We could go ahead and Roiling Dragonstorm again. I think I'm going to do it. If we find another Merc, it's freaking huge. Another Wrath. I think we could take Wrath here. Do we want a Wrath just for like 2? And we get rid of our Dragonstorms if we do that. Yeah, I don't really want to do that. I think I'll just come in for a hug again. Yeah, we want to keep Dress Down up. And Dress Down could find us a blue card. Sure. So they do have Nadu they can throw in. So they've got like 2 more turns. Another land. That's good for us. All right, come on, Murktide. Oh, Dragon. Thomas Dragon. So just go get a Plains. We can Eternalize. We can get all these back into our hand. I think that's cute, though. We could just cast him and keep a blue up and get all these back into our hand. It does take us off of Dress Down. Let's go ahead and attack first. Actually, you know what? If they chump here, I'll probably just go ahead and Wrath, just so we don't have to worry about them. Yeah, I think I force here. I'm not sure what their plan is, but I don't like it. They could have a second plow. Okay, I think we do Wrath for 2 here. That way they have to have naturally like both sides of the combo. We did it. We beat Breakfast for 3-0. Go to round 4. Round 4, we're 3-0. We are up against a likely Beanstalk opponent, which, you know, I love Beanstalk. They are likely playing a lot of non-basics. Unfortunately, we do have to lead with one of our basics, but maybe they waste it, and then it's not that big of a deal. Their list does have 0 wastelands, so that's unlikely, but like also they have some basics. Are they on 4 color? Yeah, they're on 4 color. All right, well, back to basics is going to be worth its weight in gold. Aside from that, I think this is fine. We got some Roiling Dragonstorms into dragons. Yeah, let's keep. We're on the play, which is nice. They mold to 6. I love these 4 color green greed piles, and I have some videos of me playing what I call greedy beans on the channel from a couple months ago, right after Bargain came out. I don't think Bargain is what we bargained for. Like, I don't think it's as great as Lorien revealed. Oh, that's good. So what we can do is we can go get a plains and we can plane cycle, and then we'll build up the mana so that back to basics won't hurt us too much. But what's really important is giving our opponent time to fetch out their non-basics, so they can't fetch their basics with their fetches that they've already cracked. I'm going to go ahead and Dragonstorm here. This maximizes chances of us finding a force for their beans, which is a card we want to stop. Spell Pierce is great. I wish I could use it. I'm going to dump this. We've already got an island. Yeah. Since we've got this Timeless Dragon. I should have dumped the dragon, actually. That was bad. Yeah, I think dragon, because I was counting dragon as a land, but yeah, sorry, my excellent friends, that was a misplay. There's the Beanstalk. We can't stop it. And if they have force, we're going to need this Pierce when we go for the back to basics. Might be able to trap one more land under the back to basics. Plains for turn. I think it's fine to Roiling Dragonstorm again, and then we have Pierce up. Okay, there's a little bit late to the party. I don't think Clarion Conqueror actually does much against their deck. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see really any activated abilities in the entire deck. I think I'm going to dump him. Sorry, Clarion Conqueror. We'll trigger these with the Timeless Dragon, which is uncounterable, assuming they don't have Graveyard Disruption. My opponent is already ahead 3 minutes because I was going and getting some tea. So hopefully time doesn't factor in. Otherwise, it will be a big punt to have done what I did. So now is not the time to get into a force fight. I think I want to wait one more turn. They still have this uncracked fetch, and I would really be sad if they got like a basic island. So what I'll do is I'll just end step Timeless Dragon here, and I'll keep up lots of interaction. I'm not even going to ponder because it's not clear what I'm looking for. Wrath is not in my deck currently. This will probably be a Surveil land. Underground Sea. Okay, they've got all their colors. They're going to Bowmaster me. Bargain. So they get the card anyway. I think this is worth piercing. And you always pierce with the trigger on the stack just in case they draw a force. Yeah, so they still get a card for it. They still got 6 cards in the grip. That was a 2-for-1. Every counter spell is a 2-for-1 when your opponent has beans out and they're casting like large value cards. That's fine. And it will be very hard for Roiling Dragonstorm to recoup the kind of value that Beanstalk is going to get over the course of this game. They do have a fetch. It's possible that we can bait it out. Let's go ahead and get... we got a basic plains here. They're fetching. Do they have Stifle in their deck? I didn't intend to... Oh, they got the plains. That sucks. I was hoping to avoid them doing that. Endurance? Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to fight over it. So this does get rid of this while it's in our graveyard. It's okay. It does shut us off from that dragon angle. Yeah, maybe I could have fought over it. I don't think it's correct to fight over it usually, but in this situation you could justify it because that was how we were going to trigger these Roiling Dragonstorms and get our card value, our card advantage. I think we just go for back to basics. This is about as tapped out as they're going to get. And then if we have to fight over it... Okay, wow, we're just in. I think I'm going to go ahead and just ponder here for momentum. I'm trying to fill up my yard for Merc arrival. These are fine. Cromulent cards. I think I'm not worried about my life total. They can't drop a Merc. They're totally tapped out. Basically, aside from that plains. I think we keep it as is. I'll take this Brainstorm, which is a good card to pitch to force. I don't think Dreston is going to be super relevant. I'll probably pitch that to force. If they get enough stuff, they can potentially Prismatic End. They can bind. Actually, yeah, they can bind. That's scary. I need to get some more spell pierces up in here. All right. So I think here I've got a fetch. I'm going to just go ahead and brainstorm and then fetch. I don't need the backup dress down. I don't need this land. I will take the fetch here. I think we just go ahead and get our cards back into our hand here. This does have to resolve. So I will force to protect this, which sucks because I did want to use force for other things, but I want these cards back in hand. That does not matter to me. I just wanted my card advantage engine back. Okay, and I think I'm fine with tapping this forever just to get my card advantage. I don't think they're going to blow me out with like a daze. They're not playing Wasteland or anything, which is a very responsible choice in a 4-color deck. Okay, we'll just bin this Timeless Dragon. I'm feeling pretty good. We just have to stop their Leyland binding. I would feel a lot better if I had a second force. We just have to protect this at all costs. Okay, that's good. Let's go ahead and do this. Number 1, I will pitch a... I'm likely to find another land here. Yeah, I think maybe it was greedy to do that. Okay, I don't find another land. I'll just pitch this. Next turn, we have another Mercantide coming down. We have Spell Pierce plus Force Up. They do not have all colors. They're missing red. So they will have to pay 2 mana. So Spell Pierce is still alive. Field of the Dead. Okay, wow, they're going to start getting tokens. It's kind of scary. I'm just going to let it go. Merc will be a heck of a blocker when we cast him next turn. And he's going to slurp up 3 Dragonstorms. Seems pretty good. Let's go ahead and get another Plains, I guess. I should have got an island there, I think. I think I'm going to go ahead and just do this instead, because this is guaranteed, and now we get our Dragonstorms back. So we can tap down their lands. I think that's worth it. If they want to fetch and tap, they can fetch an island, but then they tap that forever. Yeah, this does mean that they have mana up for doing fancy stuff later. I'm not sure that was a great use of a Pierce. Okay. So do we care? Because we're going to have a big Merc next turn. I think we do care because we have a lot of forces up in here. I'll just pitch this dress down. They're tapped out. Now we get the 3 Roiling Dragonstorms. Now we don't have to worry about going to discard, which is nice. And we have a big blocker. And we have a plow if we need it. I'm going to pass. So we still have force blue card. This back to basics is pulling some serious work. Okay, and they're not attacking. That's great for us. Do we want to be mana efficient and just remove the endurance? I think I am. Okay, so they're technically winning the race, but they won't be in a minute. Let's go ahead and start with a Dragonstorm. And that stutter was not my editing software. It was just some random stutter. I think we can discard a Roiling Dragonstorm at this point. I should have probably discarded the Ponder just to make the Merc bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I should have actually gotten rid of the lands just in case they have another endurance, because I don't want to be drawing them later. It's a force. I will force on top of it. I want to get the game over. So we get 1 Roiling Dragonstorm back. It's not huge. Brainstorm. Yeah, I think I've played pretty poorly this game. I think the decision not to get the Prismatic Vistas out of the yard might be consequential if they do have another endurance. So we get this back. We can't use it. I think I tapped incorrectly. I'm just going to attack for 4 and pass. I might not lose this game, but I do feel that I've made enough tiny little errors that I probably deserve to. If they can clear this now with it'll be huge. Okay, there's a land. They could have their own Merc here. I could plow it, but it will give them a card. And it'll give them a ton of life. They do have their own, and we have to wait till it resolves before we can plow it. So we're going to let them attack in. Okay, and now we'll plow. We still have a few plows left in the deck, just in case they have more. Yeah, I think we have like 1 plow left. I'm going to go ahead and do this first. Just in case I can find another Merc, I can drive in a really big Merc. Okay, Clarion Conquerer, again, doesn't do anything, but it does bring back our dragons. I'm going to go ahead and see if I have more lands. I think I might have another island. I might have been one. Okay, there it is. That's great. Right, now we can go ahead and boom, boom. Dragonstorm again. We're looking for force blue card. Didn't find it, but we did find another Merc. Yeah, I'm just going to Merc. Make this Merc huge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue, blue. Get some triggers here. Get our, and again, we're like still vulnerable if they find the long-awaited card that they've been looking for. I'm going to come in. I don't think we're in danger of dying here, so I'm going to attack with both of these. Just try to get the game over. They're at 9. They're going to need to get rid of 2 of these or present a blocker that can stop it. Brainstorm, that's a good start for the turn for us. Again, if they find Leyline Binding, they need to play a land and permanently tap it. I strongly believe that like they only have 1 island and 1 plains. Everything else is non-basic. Yeah, that won the game. This deck that we're up against is like way bigger than ours. Like we're doing cute things with Dragonstorm. They're doing Beanstalk and, you know, tons of like we shouldn't have won this game, frankly. But we did because Back to Basics is awesome. And I take back anything negative I've ever said. I've probably trashed Back to Basics like 20 times on the channel over the years. This card is really good. If you're doing like a budget deck, and I mean, this should be in your deck, frankly, if you're playing blue and you're playing a budget deck. Okay, so we can take out the Clarion Conqueror. We established that it doesn't really do anything against their deck. This is a 100% Wrath of the Skies. Like, worst case scenario, we get rid of a Beans and maybe like an Endurance. It's so good, though. Force and Negation could come in. I don't really want to cut the Plows. Dress Down doesn't really do anything against their deck. I think we can take that out. We can bring in a Force and Negation. I think that's fine, substitution-wise. I do think March could matter. It's not great. Anything to get rid of their Beans. Like, the rule number 1 against Beanstalk, if you're new to playing against Beanstalk, you always stop Beanstalk. No negotiation. It doesn't matter if you got like an I win the game card in your hand, you like force the Beans. And they're going to force back, but you're denying them a force under Beans. I don't believe they're playing Days. I am going to take this opportunity to ponder. These cards are great. I don't want the second Merc, but I do want the Spell Pierce for later. And I don't mind taking the Plow. So we'll force. They'll force back. They'll have a Beans. You can't really borrow the Beans out of play. This is absolutely pitching borrower time. We're on borrowed time. Yep, there. This is playing out exactly like I said. I have like this superpower to like basically predict what's going to happen, and it's Cassandra. She can see what happens, what's going to happen, but she's powerless to stop it, and that's how I feel. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to chill. They're winning. They're going to win this game. I'm not complaining. I love this deck. It's just that, like, at this point, it's practically deterministic. I will spell pierce basically anything I can now. Yeah, I'm going to just pierce it. I need to slow them down somehow. Pawner. Yeah, so it was worth denying them that, and because they would have gotten a perfect brainstorm. Now they're just going to get, they're going to have to kind of accept which of those cards they want. I guess they want them all. So the top card of our deck is another Merc that we don't want, so I'm going to go ahead and fetch the Plains. I think we're desperate enough that we just present an early Merc here and hope it's good enough. It's not going to be good enough, but it might distract them for a few turns. We have enough land that if I could put this back, yeah, I want to preserve Brainstorm for later. I don't believe our opponent is playing Days. This is a no-value Merc that's just going to get plowed. But I think it's correct to not just stand still in the face of Beans. If they don't have Leyline Binding, and if they just have Plow, it's a 1-for-1. It looks like that's what's happening. Yeah, they were smart and they grabbed the basic. And just F6 through their turn here. Sadly, there's nothing we can do. Bouncing Beans accomplishes nothing. Another Beanstalk. We would need something insane here. Oh, that's pretty good. Let's do it. Let's just see if we can get it. Like, it'll be a huge coup if this works. And keep in mind, they already got the cards. We're not getting like a 2-for-1. We're getting a 1 for, or like a 2 for 3, basically. Like, they got 3. Yeah, let's do it. Does this work? It's resolving. Wow, that was what we needed. We're not back in this game by any means, but we're not out of it. Keep in mind, their deck is built to be jamming these and then winning under them. So we did take quite a bit of their engine offline there. I'm probably going to just flash in this borrower and start beating face. I can surveil. We absolutely need to be aggressive here because they are way favored. I mean, they're playing, you know, that zombie land. So I'm just going to come in for a hug. We have Hardcast Force, which may be actually pretty nice considering they don't have days. I don't think we force like a removal spell, but if they have another Beanstalk, we can definitely force that. Uro's fine. I think we actually plow Uro on the front end here. I don't like he's going to stick around, and we don't have good anti-graveyard, so he's definitely coming back. Okay. And they gain tons of life here, so our Brazen Bar is going to take a while to finish. But it doesn't matter how many lands they have if we're able to succeed with our back to basics. I'm going to surveil here. We're looking for Dragonstorm. That's going to be the most consequential thing we can do here. They're fetching in response to our fetch. Do they have Oppo Agent? That would be a beating. Oh, wow. Are they going to Oppo Agent us? Holy cow. Yeah, I don't really care that much. Like, all we do search for wise is this is okay, but actually, yeah, it's totally unexpected. All right. They can look at our deck. They can take a land out of it. We don't have Hardcast Force anymore. I would never have dreamed of bringing this in this matchup. Like, I would absolutely only bring it in against like Doomsday. I don't even think it's that great of a card. Not when you're not even playing Wasteland. So I can't even see what they found. I presume they found something. Maybe they didn't choose anything. That's weird. All right. Well, we're just gonna keep attacking. The game's pretty much over. Like, I think they've won. Spell Pierce is pretty terrible here. It's almost certainly just gonna get pitched to Force. We're losing the race. They have another Uro in their deck that undoes one of our attacks if they find it. Okay, they found an island. It wasn't clear in the UI what was happening. Oh, okay. I'm going to concede. I don't think that we're going to win this. And I want to make sure, like, we're down 6 minutes and the game 3 could be really long. Let's see what we would have drawn here. Plow, back to base. I mean, we would have drawn pretty good stuff. Maybe we shouldn't have conceded. But we weren't doing anything proactive. And we don't know what's on their side. They were going to get a card. They were going to be able to bring it back and get another card before we could plow. I don't think we make any changes here. I haven't seen anything that changes the way I want to approach this. Keeping plow in is more relevant than before. March is kind of expensive. This could be a force of negation, but I don't really want to go down cards. Grafdigger's Cage is a one-of. Just doesn't matter because they have Leyline Binding. I mean, like, I haven't seen a single Leyline Binding, but I'm certain it's in their deck. Okay, this is a great hand. I'm going to keep this. We don't have Beans covered, but we have Roiling Dragonstorm. Well, we kind of have Beans covered. I'm going to go ahead and ponder for momentum. Trying to line up Force. These are fine. I don't want this Plains. Maybe I don't not want the Plains. I don't think it really matters. So next turn we Dragonstorm. Then the following turn, hopefully we have a Force to protect our back to basics. Thoughtseize? Just brainstorm. They may not even be playing Thoughtseize. I haven't seen it. It's a mistake. You should play 4 Thoughtseize. 4 freaking Thoughtseize right now. It's so good if you have black. Now they're on a 4-color deck, so it may not make sense. They may not have like a very light black splash for, you know, odd cards like Opposition Agent. Sorry, I don't mean to make too light of my opponent's deck choice, but I do think that, yeah. So we are shuffling away the Plains. Yeah, I'll keep this because this can get the Surveil if we get in a pinch. Okay, very happy to have found that Force. I think we could put March back. It's pretty meh. It's pretty meh. I'd rather have just like lots of forces, lots of blue cards. Next turn we can back to basics and Force Protect, and then if they fight through all that, then we have Mark bringing Roiling Dragonstorm back to hand. They could be struggling on land. Crack it, yes. You know you want to get a Tundra. Another cantrip. That's fine. We're still going to lock down one of the lands. It's still worth fighting over. And importantly, we're going to lock down the rest of the lands. There's a good chance that they're not looking at a fetch, so they're looking at a card that is going to be a Lotus Petal. I'll keep the fetch for later. Any forces they use here are forces they're not using under Back to Basics. They force a negate. I will force back. They force again. Okay, so we do have Murktide to reload next turn with the Dragonstorm. So the cards they pitched there were Murk and Force. So they had a 3-force hand. Beanstalk. Oh, Uro, yeah. Now we really need to lock their lands down. If we can find the other one, it'll be huge. I don't think Murk's going to be able to beat Uro, unfortunately. And they might have a plow up. They have definitely developed their mana over there. All right, well, now we do have a blue card at least for Force. So we could force Uro when it's coming back if we need to. That's not optimal. Okay, and note the way I'm tapping. I'm intentionally leaving the Back to Basics in the yard because if they endurance me, I want to get that back. Okay, they're fetching now. This must mean that they are scared of it. If they're going to plow right now with this Dragonstorm on the stack. And I think I do force. Because they're down to one card, and it's possible that we might... They're pretty far from being able to bring back Uro. We reload next turn. They need a second green source. Oh, they can bring back Uro. And Uro is as big as the Murk. That sucks. I think we just lost. But I expect to lose this matchup. I just want to be clear. Drawing like a Back to Basics could still work. Off Roiling Dragonstorm. Drawing a Plow could work. It gives them a ton of life. They get another card. Chances are they're going to find a Plow at some point. They've used one. Wasteland. Okay, that's not what I'm worried about. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and do this first. Okay, so we could just play out the archive just to get a card deeper. And maybe they waste it. I don't really care. I think I'm going to do that. I actually think I keep this. Yeah, because I might just Roiling Dragonstorm into Roiling Dragonstorm so that our next Murktide is procced. Oh, there is our next Murktide. This is awkward. So if we bin this, we're pretty far from using it. Yeah, I'm just going to do it again. Okay, this is good. Timeless Dragon. If Timeless Dragon goes in the bin, then next turn we can bring it back. Okay, so the option is to hold back and just block this. They can bring it back again. I think we just have to keep going for damage. I'm not going to be reactive here. If they have like a endurance clear, it's huge. It's like terrible for us. They are going to get yet another card off this. I mean, I can see the argument for keeping it back, but they're just going to bring it back. Like, they have enough cards in their graveyard. And okay, they play Tundra. Yeah, that second force was absolutely brutal because I think we would win if we had resolved it. But now we're not going to win. Another Uro. That's fine. Now we have to exile both of them. Feeling pretty powerless here. Yeah, that's fine. Force. Like it. It's not going to get us where we need to go. Yeah, I think we actually do have to hold back here. Oh, wait. We're going to get these back in hand, so we do have force again. So I don't attack. I just chill and chump. I could force Uro coming back. That's pretty sketch. But I think that's probably the correct thing to do. And then we have Dragonstorm. We still have this to beat face after we've traded. There's not a way that I can buff this. I don't have like... Yeah, what's this? Opposition of the end step. I think I just fetch in response. And then just ignore it. Yeah, it shouldn't be in. Like, it does not have any business being in against my deck, frankly. This is their chance to find a plow. I do... And this fills up their yard as well. I probably have to force a plow so I can trade with Uro and at least slow him down a little bit. This needs to be forced, frankly. I think it'd be a mistake not to. Now we're really low in life. So we'll trade here, sadly. How many Mercs do we even have left in our deck? Okay, we still got 2. So a Merc would be a very live draw. Borrower, not huge. Let's go ahead and do this, just in case we find a Merc. I think we've been this. I'm going to go ahead and brainstorm now. Okay, that's not terrible. We can bin... oh, we have to put some cards back. just going to put these borrowers back, and then I'm going to Timeless Dragon. No, wait, I don't want this. Well, this is how I shuffle, but I can't shuffle. I guess I'll just draw it last, just in case like they trade in combat somehow. Oh, I can't even cycle this, so I'll have to play it out. But when I play it out, I will get the Roiling Dragonstorm back. Man, this sucks. I'm trying to think of how we can possibly win. Because they're going to be able to Uro. We can bounce it back to hand, but then they just... massive freaking value. They've got 10 cards, so they can exile... They can Uro twice, I think. Yeah, I feel like this is pretty unwinnable. Timeless Dragon is going to be a 5/5. It's not nothing. And this returns this. I'm going to try to stay strong here. They're going to get so many freaking cards, though. Yeah, sorry, my excellent friends. The trophy's dead. We are not going to beat that. We already know what our top 3 cards are. Yeah, I feel like our opponent played kind of mediocrely. Like, but we also, or I also made some mistakes. Yeah, but they were definitely favored. That was like a 40-60 match. So we did our best. But them having the double force for Brazen, I mean, they were going to have it. They boarded in force negation, which I don't think is correct, but they did board it in. Like, again, they made a lot of counterintuitive sideboard decisions that worked out for them. And maybe that's just me, like, being a dum-dum and not realizing that, but there's no way that opposition agent should have been boarded in. I don't think force negation should have been boarded in. I boarded in one force negation, and that's just for their beans, right? Anyway, I hope I don't come across as salty or anything like that. I'm having a great time. That was a fun match. It was just disappointing that we couldn't figure out a way to kind of like Aikido them to the ground. Aikido, practiced by the greatest martial arts practitioner of all time, Steven Seagal. Not... Final round, we're 3-1. We're up against an unknown opponent who could be on Painter, they could be on Delver, they could be on anything. This is a one-lander. I'm going to channel Bosch and Roll. Island Ponder, keep this. We're on the play. Our opponent's mulling. That's a good sign that they're on combo, which our hand is pretty well set up to beat combo. But I still think it'd be a mistake not to ponder here. Hopefully they're on combo and we have a Pierce when they go for it the second time. Oh, yeah. That's freaking awesome. Yeah, the island is probably the least consequential. Yeah, we only need 2 lands. There's no way I need the third. Okay, and I'll take this because this is a plains, just in case they like somehow forcibly shuffle our deck. Those contingencies almost never come up, by the way. You're wasting bandwidth if you're thinking about those things. I just can't help but blurt out random thoughts that jump into my mind. Whoa, that island looks freaking awesome. Okay, this is the pirate set. Yeah, she's going to come in. I can just plow her. And I'll have Spell Pierce up too. So if they try to do something funky, they are going to get got. We can't march her as a planeswalker, notably. So we do need to go ahead and get rid of her. What do you think of this plains art? I just saw it and it just spoke to me. The pumpkin patch with the scarecrow. So we're up against a fellow basic island enjoyer. All right, they did not force to protect. Feeling pretty good. I like our position. We don't do anything, but we're well positioned to posture against what they do. Please cast something I can pierce. Valk. Hey, I can pierce that. This is equipment from the new set. Job select. They made days here, which is okay. I can just march. Okay. So we're back to basics May Fine Quarter here. Dragonstorm's a great rip. I am going to Dragonstorm. One cool thing about this can exile tokens for basically 1 mana at instant speed. Holy guacamole. I think the March is probably the least impactful, and we are going to want to hope that they continue to play out non-basics and that this back-to-basics can hit them pretty hard. I'm not going to pitch the Plow because I suspect they probably have DRC and a few other cards in their deck. They could be on just straight-up Wizards with this. This does create a Wizard creature. I think we just let this go. Yeah, I want to force to protect my back-to-basics, lock down their mana. This is kind of scary, but it's not that scary. It still gets plowed. Oh, wow. Back to basics is going to be freaking awesome here. They're on 3 color. They're on like whatever it's called. The I like to call it Rug Delver. Teamer, I believe, is the proper name for the Pinkies Up gamers. I'll go ahead and mock that I have back. Like, I mean, I should probably keep this untapped just in case I need to do some sort of emergency plowing. All right, we're in. That's huge. They can cantrip. They can attack us. I'm just going to chill. If they brainstorm, it actually gives it 2 tokens because brainstorm wasn't pushed enough. Yeah, I'll let them equip that. Well, they just play it out. They can't equip. Okay. Do we want to get rid of this? So they have to equip it to another creature if we get rid of it. This is a window where we can just get rid of it. I kind of want to do so I don't have to take the damage because they may have like plow and stuff. I don't know. Like they were going to equip it later. That's my excuse. Okay, so land. This can get a surveil, but I don't really want to get a surveil. I'm just going to hold up Hardcast Force here and chill for a turn. They have to pay 2 to equip that, and that's going to be hard to do with their mono non-basics mana base. I'm not going to permanently tap a land just to surveil. Okay, this is great. So let's go ahead and do this. I'll just keep my mana up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's end this. Tear down this wall, Gorbachev. All right. We get this back. I'm going to go ahead and use it. Okay. Lining up exactly like we wanted it to. Clarion Conquerer is going to conquer like the Conqueror's Bad Fur Day up in here. Yeah, Clarion's such a sick rip. And it gets our Dragonstorm back. They scoop. All right. Hydroblast, definitely coming in. Man, how good has Back to Basics been in this league? That card is sweet. Wrath, yes, get in the deck. Get in my belly. And then I think cards that are like not great. I suspect Dress Down's not going to be spectacular here. They could have constructs. I think Pierce is probably meh. I suspect they're going to have a lot of creatures. I'm tempted to take out Forces. I don't know exactly what I'm playing against. Force can protect our spells, though. And we're on the draw. March does seem fine. If they have... they're probably an Urza Saga deck. 3-color Urza Saga deck. Why would you play freaking Lava Spur Boots if you didn't have Urza Saga? So if that's the case, then we do want the Dress Downs. Maybe I take out all the Spell Pierces. They already saw one. And I think a lot of the scary stuff they're going to be doing is creature-based. We saw Tommy, so I don't want to take out my plows. But I kind of want to take out... I don't think it's correct. Maybe it is okay to take out like one plow. Because I suspect a lot of their creatures are going to be artifact. Like tokens. That got with Dress Down and or March. I mean, March can still kill a Tommy. I think this is more flexible than Plow here. We could probably take out a Merc, since we're definitely keeping Clarion Conqueror, but we're definitely the control deck here. Make no mistake. That's 60. Let's do it. Clarion Conqueror, thank you for showing up. They didn't even see it. This is a mole. Don't look at it. This is a keep. No, this doesn't have freaking white mana. I'm going to mulligan this again. Is that crazy? We can get... Yeah, I can get... I'll surveil. I'm going to keep... I mean, these cards are fine as long as they don't waste us off white, which would be so embarrassing for our one non-basic to get wasted. Seat. Okay, so they're on... Yeah, they're definitely an Urza Saga deck. Definitely. And you know what's going to definitely rock them like a hurricane? Wrath of the Skies. Here I am. I will not finish it. I'll let you go listen to the song after you finish this video. It's the Scorpions, Hurricane. Very cool song from like 90s. Emery. Well, Emery enters. I think do I plow Emery now? We do plow her. And this is mana efficient. So they're on basically 8 cast. For some reason, yeah, this is earlier. Remember when I said, like, yeah, there are these crazy Urza Saga decks that play like Tomio, and they make like these 10-10. They create so many clues, and then they bring out the we're against that deck. We're facing it right now. All right, that's fine. They're going to get some more material here. None of this stuff in the graveyard is devastating. It's just good. Clarion Conqueror is going to solo them, but I do want a Wrath. We need to get rid of Emery. She's going to be a pain. I think I'm going to go ahead and get the Surveil this turn. I don't think they're playing any Wasteland type effects. If I draw Back to Basics, I'll feel like a horse's patoot. We're going to blow up all this stuff with Wrath. It's going to be so sweet. And they already blown their force. They're getting a Lotus Petal. Do they have a big mana play? They have big mana plays. They can still win. You got to be kidding me. You're killing me, Smalls. Now I have to play Clarion Conqueror first to stop Nadu shenanigans. Clarion Conqueror does shut off their lands, which is sweet. It's like Null Rod ++. Loving it. I'm going to Surveil. They're down to 2 cards. They have a freaking Skybeater that's going to be able to chump my Clarion indefinitely. Or not chump, but like stop my Clarion. I can't attack into a 3/4. By the way, what freaking R&D lab made him 3/4? All right. Let's draw a non-land. All right. I'm not going to complain about that. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. They're probably just going to tap this to draw a card if they're not completely asleep at the wheel over there. Whoa. You could have drawn a card, dude. All right. So you can't do anything. You can attack me with your Nadu. Sure. All right. So I think we just tinker or we ponder here. I'm not ready to Wrath this away. This is too strong. I think we just Timeless Dragon. Yeah, I'll Timeless Dragon, and that'll be big enough to tango with Nadu, and then we'll just keep the equilibrium. Like this arrangement we have here, I think is working out quite well for both of us. Wouldn't you agree, opponent? I did not need to fetch, by the way. That was kind of sloppy. I'll grab an island because I'm about to grab a plains. I'm just going to do it now so I can... I don't know that I want to F6. No, I'll just wait. Yeah, I'll keep it a surprise. I guess I could attack here. I don't think there's any downside. Just keep the life totals relatively even. You hit me for 3, I hit you for 3, and it's fair until Timeless Dragons, Necromorph version arrives. Plains cycle. Force. We have Hardcast Force up. But, yeah. I mean, at any time, if they do clear this, we just Wrath the board the subsequent turn, which is a pretty powerful thing to be able to do. Oh, I almost Wrath right there. That would have been very embarrassing. Yeah, luckily, I don't think they saw what I was about to do. Otherwise, they would be spooked. Now we can attack for 3, and we're winning this race. I love it. Like, Emery's just sitting there totally useless, hanging out in the murk, like watching, completely disabled. They did find a land now, so there might be sparks. Nadu's hanging back. Good bird. Merc. I think we just hold up force and we just keep beating him with this Timeless Dragon. Winning the race. No, we can definitely stick a Merc. I do kind of want to wait a turn. That way I can Merc and still have up force. We're in no hurry here. I think probably 60 to 70% of their deck is shut off by this Clarion Conqueror, and I want to defend. Okay, you're welcome to do that, and I'll hit you for 7. Now they're going to kind of be incentivized to hang back. No, wait, I can just stick this Merc. It's not big, but it's big enough. Gosh, trophy was so freaking close. I haven't gotten a trophy in a month and a half or so. It's been like a month. I really would have liked to have gotten a trophy with another budget deck. I'm going to keep trying. I've got a lot more budget brews. Yeah, that was it. Damn. Did it. All right. Shall we open some chesties? They don't actually matter. Just celebratory chesties here. That's what I think Newmont the Nummy calls them. See what we would have gotten. I already in this account I already have everything, but I do want the play points. Open one. What do we get? Yes, open one. This is the slot machine variable reward thing that keeps the Magic economy going. The Fire Crystal. Territorial Kavu, that's a pretty chill. I think I got beaten by that by Punishing Waterfalls a few weeks ago. So you get these points. You can't trade. These accounts can't trade anything. And I hope I'm not violating any rules talking about the rules. Whoa, 45 play points. That's good. Yeah, and sometimes you'll get a huge amount of play points. Yeah, 15 play points, and then some cards I don't recognize. This is a new card. Create 2, 1, 2. It's 5 mana. Never mind. It's not legacy playable. Legacy playable is like 3 mana maximum. And you'll see that I'm only playing 2 of these Clarion Conquerors. There we go. And then let's open this last one. I mean, we've already had like a really good. We got 120 play points. So the way the account works and how I've been able to, play all these without risking financial ruin, experiment with these, lower powered decks in a meta filled with like oops all spells and stuff, is I've been, I've been using my play points, and we can see how many play points I have. But it's all about the play points, basically. That's how you get to play Magic. I don't have any. You're never going to see me selling tickets or anything like that. Yeah, 955. So I can basically scrub out of 9 leagues from here and still be able to experiment with brews. And then, it's pretty chill. So again, shout out to Daybreak for letting people that want to brew and not break the bank do it. If they first put in a ton of work that's largely uncompensated to get their YouTube channel to this size, which is, I appreciate everybody tuning in. I really do. It means a lot to read the comments, and especially some of those very nice comments on my Japanese video. Those of you who are curious, I will do some more Japanese videos, but I want to make sure the vast majority of people who played Legacy are probably English speakers, not Japanese speakers. So I want to get them some cool stuff first. And I am going to Japan in a few weeks, and I'm going to play at the Shinjuku Tournament Center. So if you're in Tokyo, come and play against me. That'd be a blast. All right, so the list feels great. I don't really have any feedback. These dress downs never really came up, but in theory, they should come up. I do think that they're good. They don't have any deleterious effect on any aspect of the deck. So one of the things I'm really looking for is not having any dysynergy. I think March continues to be an okay card. I do think that in a perfect world, you have tons of money and you have dual lands and you are able to splash. And by the way, I do encourage people to save up and buy dual lands. I have playsets of all the blue duals, except for the trop. You never need more than 3 trop. And I would argue you could probably get away with 3 of each. The Volk and the Underground Seas are really the ones you need 4 of if you're doing straight blue-black, blue-red. But I think we are showing that if you're willing to just play a slow control build, this can absolutely work. You can absolutely still win with these kinds of slightly less flexible mana. Now, you can't put this in a Days Wasteland show. You really do need blue duels if you want to play Days Wasteland. So I am still going to be playing lots of tempo videos on the channel, but for a lot of the videos, I intentionally this deck would probably be 5% better if you just put a Tundra in it, but I refuse to do that. The deck would probably be I actually don't know if you need a Null Rod, but Null Rod's another card that's on the reserve list. Phyrexian Dreadnought's on the reserve list, so you won't see me doing any no reserve list Dreadnought builds, unfortunately. Another card, Thought Lash, which is kind of cool in budget decks. The Thought Lash Thassa's Oracle deck. I'd like to play that too, but Thought Lash is on the reserve list. Cradle is on the reserve list. Obviously, it's super expensive Mox Diamond, stuff like that. So you can look at all the cards that are on the reserve list, but I won't be playing any of those in my no reserve list. And I've created a playlist of these videos, and I've got a lot more coming. I really do think this is an underexplored area. And yeah, they're probably never going to abolish the reserve list. I've advocated for them doing it many times. I think that it won't significantly impact the value of card. Well, it will. You'd be lying if you said that my FBB Underground Seas are going to continue to be $2,000 after they just reprint a janky looking one that's good enough. But they'll probably still be $1,000. Soul Ring has been printed into the ground, and a beta Soul Ring is still worth a few $100s. So yeah, I really like just giving people an accessible entry into Legacy. I would actually kind of be interested if they created a format that was no reserve list Legacy. I don't think they plan to do that, but they should, because it'd be way more interesting than Modern, because you still have Wasteland, you still have Force, you still have Days, you still have lots of really important cards that Modern doesn't have, but you still have the low price points. Because all the no reserve list decks that I've been playing on the channel can be built for less than $1,000. And the fact that you can take a no reserve list deck and you can go into the meta. Like I took I very nearly trophied also with Blue Black Death Shadow a few months ago, and like those were intense matches, and you can actually kind of like lean into using shocks if you do that. So I am excited to bring you more. I will say one thing you need to strongly consider if you want to play Legacy right now is you need to have Force or you need to have Thoughtseize, and ideally you want to have both. But I don't know that you're going to have a lot of fun playing a deck that doesn't have Force or Thoughtseize. Somebody was asking me the other day how I feel about Maverick, and Maverick is one of those decks that, on paper it looks like it's pretty good, but then you get paired against Doomsall spells, and like you have like no recourse, no agency. It sucks. And at the very least, having Thoughtseize and having Force of Will and ideally Force of Negations in your sideboard like does give you reach. But I would strongly encourage you to stick with 2 colors. I might create like if you'd like me to create a Discord focused around, budget Legacy, like no reserve list Legacy, I'll absolutely do it. But I think Back to Basics is really strong when you're playing Legacy with other people that are playing dual lands and you're not playing dual lands. And I think if there's one thing I want you to take away from this, it's that Back to Basics is a legit card, and it's quite good. It's probably a 2-of in your blue Force of Will deck. I wouldn't splash blue for it or anything, but if you're in blue, this is a perfectly serviceable option. The other thing that I'll observe is Clarion Conqueror was quite good against both the 8-cast deck and the Breakfast deck. I think it's really good there too, and so it's good. It's another thing I'll say is Spell Pierce is like kind of the non-black players' Thoughtseize. Like this card was definitely good throughout the league. It pitched to Force. It probably stopped some important spells. It may have stopped a Beanstalk or something like that at some point. But I think that this is a pretty decent alternative to Daze. And so it's a little bit bigger than Daze, so you don't need to play Wasteland. Again, Wasteland is really, really good in control decks. And you'll see like my, I guess, powered, my reserve list boosted Legacy decks almost always play like a few Wastelands just because it incidentally is like really good at stopping stuff. But if you're like, I think this Back to Basics plus Spell Pierce, there's some genuine legs here. And I could see this being like a, not necessarily a Legacy mainstay, but you might be able to incorporate this. I saw Punishing Waterfalls, huge inspiration for me. The guy's a genius with brewing. And I saw him on a Wizards list, Blue-Red Wizards, and he was playing 4 of these. I was like, what? It never even occurred to me that you could play 4 Spell Pierce. That seems so, like, why? Why would you do that? But then I watched him play, like, the tournament that he played, and it just came up constantly. He was just destroying people with his Spell Pierces. People were not playing around them. And, you shouldn't play around it because it's like, what, are you going to take 2 extra turns to cast your Beanstalk, cast it on turn 4 instead of turn 2? No, you're not going to. So, but it's a lot easier to play around a Daze than it is to play around Spell Pierce, right? And if you're just doing like a, land go type deck, like what we're doing basically, unless we're tapping out for a Roiling Dragonstorm, we're probably just passing the turn. So like that means that you're often going to have 1 blue up. And it does stay alive pretty late into the game. It doesn't hit creatures. Daze hits creatures. I think Daze is like infinitely better of a card. Don't get it twisted. Daze is way better than Spell Pierce. But if you're not playing Wasteland, but you have to have Wasteland in your deck to really get the utility out of Daze. So you can keep them low to the ground and keep them stuck in the mid game and keep them off their end game. So that, like, we didn't ever board in Supreme Verdict. My thinking around Supreme Verdict is it pitches to Force, but you don't really need this. Like, what you probably want to do, frankly, is just play another Force of Negation. Again, I know I'm the only person who plays 4 Force of Negation, but it's so good. It was really good in that final round against us when we got into that Force fight over Back to Basics, right? It like basically saved the game. That's what cost us the trophy, was the fact that my opponent was wise enough to board in the Force Negation against us, which, again, I said, like, I didn't think it was the right move. Like, our deck is, like, creatures. It's not, like, you board in Force Negation against, like, 8-cast, or not 8-cast, but, like, 12-post in decks like that. But, like, our opponent brought it in, and it did pay off for them there. So, Force Negation is a good card, and don't be embarrassed to rock all 4 of them. I do realize that even though it's a non-reserve list card, it's, like, $50. Same thing with Prismatic Vista. People are complaining about, like, man, when are they going to reprint this? It's, like, $50 fetch land. It is by far the most expensive fetch land. Yeah, I don't know, but like get 4 of them, and you can put them in every no reserve list deck. And look forward to some other, like I'm doing a lot of Pox related lists because Pox can do quite well. Mono black control or mono black aggro can do well. I'm gonna do a black white tokens too. Hopefully, I'll not completely scrub out, and I'll be able to publish that one. If I have like a really bad league, and I'm just like, oh, oops again. Like I sometimes won't publish those, but generally I'm gonna publish a lot. So thanks again to you all for tuning in. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.